veterans and their families. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm a one-trick pony, literally. I show up at kids' parties and act cute. That's pretty much it. So excuse me for being bitter. When Geico says not only could we save you money on car insurance, but we do more, like give you 24/7 access online, over the phone, or even via our award-winning mobile app. Well, ooh la la, aren't they multi-talented? Hey, I said organic carrots.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
If you own a gun for protection, you need legal defense for self-defense. U.S. Law Shield is now in Louisiana. If you must defend yourself, you have the nation's largest network of independent program attorneys passionate about your self-defense rights, ready to defend you. And you'll pay zero attorney's fees for covered events. USLawShield.com has...
Hey, what time are we doing Luke Eastern?
11:30. I didn't have a time on there.
Yeah, no. That's all right.
Yep.
.com and hit radio offers. Go to USLawShield.com. That's USLawShield.com.
Mom has her own special place in your heart, and Mother's Day is the perfect time to find the Pandora gifts that celebrate.
All right, 1 minute.
Is at Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry. Experts help you create or a special gift set just for Mom, like the Flourishing Hearts gift set, just $99. Anoint her heart with the love for Mother charm. Jared.
It'll get better as the week goes.
No offense, right? No offense to Dave.
Expensive gift.
No
offense to Dave. To Jared.
It's all right. I had the Swedish bikini team coming in later, so.
Sure you do, but
Don't miss great buy one, get one free.
I know, right?
Most we can't name them all.
volume?
Start
I
the
need to
season
turn mine
right with
down.
savings on quality products from Scott's, Roundup, Ortho, and more.
headset
There
I
are
am.
so many BOGOs and so many ways.
10 seconds.
Hurry in! The Ace Buy One Get One Free sale ends Monday. Offers valid at participating.
Right there.
Perfect. Yep, that's good.
Dunc and Holder on a Wednesday, April 25th. Should we speak like this throughout the entire show since we're at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans? Hello, PGA Tour event. Hello. At TPC Louisiana. Hello, Jeffrey.
I do feel like we have to speak a little lower today because we're looking out over the practice green and the 9th green as the Pro-Am goes on right now. I do feel a little intimidated.
I feel like I need birds chirping.
There are birds chirping.
Like classic music. That might come out of the pond, which is literally in the pond. No, Larry Holder, Jeff Dunc, and Cloud Redan here at TPC Louisiana. We are at the 19th hole. We are going to be hopping around the golf course throughout around 10:30. We're going to have Juan Kincaid on, of course, sports director, WVUE TV, Fox 8. We'll talk with him about the Saints. We'll talk with him about the Pelicans. The Pelicans finally know who they're playing. They're going to be taking on the Golden State Warriors, which we anticipated, but we don't know exactly when they're going to be playing yet. I guess they're at the mercy of the rest of the NBA playoffs, so we'll figure that out in the next few days. But we know that they will be playing Golden State, so they're going to be heading out to Oakland in a couple of days. But we'll talk with Juan Kincaid about that. And also, Jeff, Juan is going to be, and the Fox 8 crew, they're going to be doing a big special coming up tonight, right?
Yeah, I think it's tonight, a documentary on Jim Henderson, of course, the longtime, recently retired voice of the New Orleans Saints radio network and longtime sports director at WWL. They have an hour-long documentary. I'm trying to find out exactly what time it is tonight, but it's on Fox 8, WVUE, debuts tonight. We'll talk to Juan about that documentary, how they put it together, because I'm eager to watch it, and also get his thoughts on the Pels Warriors, which we now know tips off Wednesday night. That's semifinal series. We don't. Saturday night.
So we do know when now.
It starts Saturday,
but we don't have a time.
We don't have a time yet. I'm assuming it's going to be prime time. It's out in Oakland. I can't imagine them playing on Saturday afternoon, so I'm assuming it's going to be that night. But I think a lot of other games and series have to be wrapped up before they can set in stone exactly what their lineup's going to be.
Right, so we're going to have Juan Kincaid on around 10:30. Top of the 11 o'clock hour, we're going to have Steve Worthy, of course, the CEO of the 4Kids Foundation. They put on the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. He's going to join us on site. He's going to join us today, and actually he's going to join us Friday as well. So going to have a great visit from Steve. And then around 11:30, we will talk NFL Draft with Luke Easterling from the Draft Wire of the USA Today Network. Will join us around 11:30 to talk Saints, because look, we are 48 hours away, maybe about 55 hours away exactly from the NFL draft. And look, yesterday Sean Payton came out and spoke with the media after he's like, I guess he knows what the draft board is. He's golfed yesterday. He's golfing today. It's all fun and games for Sean Payton. Their draft board's ready to rock.
Obviously, they got the haze in the barn. Head coach is out playing golf, 18 holes, back-to-back days. And look, he's by this time it is pretty much in the barn, and most of that work will have been done by Jeff Ireland and his staff anyway. So, and you know, Sean Payton yesterday out here said he doesn't think they will trade up. He said they're planning to pick at number 27. Now, things could change if somebody drops and they feel like they just have to make a move, but it sounds to me like you were saying, they just won't be able to trade up and they don't have the ammo, so they feel like they're probably going to sit tight at 27 and make their selection.
And I know Mickey Loomis is slated to speak today, so as he speaks to the media, we will bring you updates from there as well. So it's look, it's action-packed day here at TPC Louisiana over in Avondale, and look, all kinds of sports. But let's stay with Sean Payton. Look, he's out here, but you're right, the draft board is set, and I just think it was interesting, his comments after his round yesterday. And he typically speaks. He plays this thing every year. He typically speaks, so you get kind of where the Saints are. Really a major surprise, the needs he was speaking about. He's saying they want to add a defensive end, they want to add some offensive line help, they want to add a tight end, they want to add a linebacker. And nothing, Jeff, just remember even a year ago, he's talking about, boy, we wanted to add a defensive end, and they didn't add one until the 5th pick. Outside of the top 100, they added Trey Hendrickson, and you're wondering, well, are they going to be able to do this earlier? But at this last mock draft, I had them trading up in day 3. Like, I feel like that's the point where they're maybe going to be able to trade up, because they have some ammo, a couple of 5th rounders, and they got several picks. They have 6 picks in day 3, and I feel like that's a spot where maybe they can move up and go get a guy that falls to day 3.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Larry. I think we could easily see the Saints make a move in round 2 to get up into round 2 using their 3rd round pick and some of the ammo they have below, because I don't think it'll cost them that much. But to be able to go up in round 1 is going to be exorbitant, and I just don't think they feel necessary, because I don't think there's a prospect there that they feel like is worthy of trading up. Now, that said, if somehow Bradley Chubb were to drop into the 20s, I'm sure they'd go get him. But that's not going to happen.
If Bradley Chubb drop into the 20s, lots of teams are going to go up and get him.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to say an extraordinary circumstance. You never say never, but more than likely. And I think Sean Payton, one thing I've noticed about him the last few years, I don't know if you agree with me, I think you would, is he's much more candid about things. He used to be so coy about everything and trying to play these mind games and subterfuge. And I think it's funny, because I think Saints fans think now, they've heard so much of that over the years, they think everything he says is some kind of smoke screen, and he's purposely trying to throw people off, and they're overthinking everything, when actually I think he's just realized none of that stuff matters, especially when you're drafting 27th. And he's just being honest, you know. I don't think he's trying to fool anybody. I think he's being very honest with how things are going to go tomorrow night, setting expectations.
Yeah, and if you're hearing wind in the mic, that's because it's a little breeze in the elements here. It's no clouds in the sky, but a little wind here, and I'm wondering if that's going to take Sean Payton's ball into the drink over here, or Reggie Bush's ball into the drink. Well, I'm not sure.
I can tell you this, guys. When there's wind out here, this course plays very tough. And there's not a lot of wind out here. Usually, we don't have it. But the players will tell you, when you get crosswinds, it can make this course a beast. So we'll see if it continues. But, I mean, there's little gusts of breeze right now, but it's not that bad. But if we do get some wind, it could be a whole different kind of tournament than what most people expect.
And I'm not necessarily complaining about the wind, because it feels wonderful.
It does feel wonderful.
It feels so wonderful.
It's so good.
Clad's like, get me outside of my box where I'm like locked up all the time. Get me out into the elements and get me out here to Avondale at the TPC Louisiana. But look, it's going to be a great day,
Great 3 days. I could tell you for us personally, we are going to be at the 19th hole today. We will be at the Acme tent on Thursday for round 1, and on Friday we'll be at the Champions Club for round 2. So if you're looking for Dunc and Holder, we're going to be flying all over this course.
Come
and
say hello.
It's going to be absolutely come say hello.
Hey, just a quick update. I wanted to update on that Jim Henderson documentary. We'll talk to Juan about it in a little while, but it's from 6 to 7 tonight, and then that'll lead into a little bit later their draft game plan, which features our very own Larry Holder from 10:30 to 11. Larry weighing in on the Saints draft prospects. That's tonight on Fox 8.
I can say Sean Fazan and me got into a little feisty banter about he is Mr. Tight End. I am anti-tight end, and so it got a little spicy. Yeah, so
we are on the same page on that.
Yeah.
So when they draft Mike Gesicki tomorrow, we'll both look like idiots.
No, we're not going to look like idiots. I'm just going to say, what's the point? Unless and watch someone else, some defensive player drop that I like and stuff. But that's
the draft.
Nature of the draft. Absolutely. All right, let's take a break right here on the show. If you want to get involved, we're going to have some open segments. Again, talking plenty about everything going on, so much going on in the world of sports around here in Southeast Louisiana.
I think it might be one of the busiest weeks we've ever had.
In a long time.
Yeah, I mean, with the game on Saturday, the draft tomorrow, and this baby kicking off really actually yesterday, this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, 504-260-1280 is the number. Again, don't forget Juan Kincaid at 10:30, Steve Worthy, the Four Kids Foundation. Of course, they put on the Zurich Classic of New Orleans here at TPC Louisiana. He will join us top 11 o'clock hour. 11:30, we will talk with Luke Easterling, who is a draft guru from DraftWire and part of the USA Today network. So come on back here and join the fun. Sports 1280, NOLA.com, the iHeartRadio app. Dunc and Holder.
You don't know another player that can stunt like me. Big time representing the UPT. I'm a monster like me.
Every summer needs a soundtrack.
Candles, baby, the cakes win.
And your soundtrack.
I already feel my leg is frying.
Here.
I love it.
The baby cakes are in action.
My leg is frying.
I got Sports 1280, New Orleans.
Watching you bubble.
Spokesperson, a program in jar. Discontinuing any medication.
Attention, anyone who has taken Nexium, Prilosec, Prevacid, or any other proton pump.
It puts the lotion in the basket or it gets that hose again.
You may be entitled to significant cash compensation. The Journal of American Medical Association recently reported that proton pump inhibitors, including Nexium and Prilosec, may increase the chances of individuals developing chronic kidney disease by 50%. If you or a loved one took Nexium, Prilosec, or any other proton pump inhibitor and have experienced kidney problems such as chronic kidney disease, renal or kidney failure, dialysis treatment, or even a related death, call 800-289-0789 now. You may be entitled to significant compensation, but hurry, time is limited. If you or a loved one took Nexium, Prilosec, or any other proton pump inhibitor, call 800-298-0789. Operator standing by 24/7. Call 800-298-0789. That's 800-298-0789. 800-298-0789.
Wow, it looks
You YouTubers don't get used to this.
Yeah, and I put nothing down on this bad boy.
You get 3 days of hearing us during the commercials, and
Maybe
we're right back to not being able to hear what we're saying during the breaks.
And you can do it all from your phone. What? Yeah, that's amazing.
Get pre-approved for your next new or used car at Navy Federal Credit Union and find something new to brag about. Visit NavyFederal.org to learn more. Open to everyone in the armed forces, the DoD, veterans, and their families. Federally insured by NCUA.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I feel like a whole new person.
Disclaimer, you will not become a whole new person. This is impossible. You might be able to join a gym or diet program, buy a new wardrobe, get hair implants, but your DNA and physical form will remain the same. Geico waives any and all liability if you attempt to become a new person, except a cyborg. If you choose to become a half-human, half-cybernetic organism with lasers for eyes, the Geico legal team would be cool with that, because, quote, laser eyes are pretty sweet. Pew, 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 end quote.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Spotify is going to give away more music. The streaming service is upgrading the free version of its mobile app that will give users more access to songs. Paid users get full access to Spotify's entire catalog without ads. Spotify's now a public company and needs to hit its growth numbers, so it's betting the more people...
Everybody be good boys and girls for the next 3 days.
No.
You can't say previously only available in Austin, Cincinnati, Dallas, and Virginia Beach. delivery.
We're so excited they can hear us now during the breaks.
Denver, Sacramento, and San Diego. Prime members get free 2-hour deliveries for purchases over $35, and even faster 1-hour delivery for an upcharge of $7.99. Javelin Strategy and Research says that last year, more than 1 million children in the country were victims of identity theft, resulting in $2.6 billion in losses. The report says children's identities are worth more on the black market. Tech Report, Larry Olson, NBC News Radio.
All right, 10 seconds.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is Dunc and Holder on Sports 1280, New Orleans.
I think we need to wobble at a whisper as there are players on the green.
Can you gracefully twerk? Can you gracefully wobble and twerk at a place like this? I think you can. I think you've got Big Freed out here. I think she'd find a real classy way to twerk it out here.
I don't think so.
I don't think that's humanly possible.
I don't think Big Freed has ever been at the TPC of Louisiana.
Can you imagine?
When do you get Big Freed out of here, man?
Can you imagine Jim Nance twerking or Nick Faldo at the Masters twerking? I don't think so.
Maybe Faraday.
Definitely David Faraday.
See David Faraday.
I would totally agree.
Sergio might twerk.
Oh yeah,
He's got a little game to him.
Well, I mean, he's from he's got that Spanish blood in him. So
right.
I mean, clearly, he knows how to merengue and cha-cha, little salsa.
Yeah, he's probably been out partying before. He looks like a partier.
Yeah.
To me.
Well, I mean, he's about to be a dad. So
if you win the Masters, you deserve to party. Like Patrick Reed, I wonder if he's going to be wearing his green jacket out here at the Zurich Classic, as we're at the 19th hole today.
At least one day.
I would assume he would wear it every day.
I'd wear it to bed. I'd wear it everywhere. I'd say, look at me.
Well, I mean, he's already done that.
What have you done?
There was a story about how he's basically worn his jacket everywhere, which, I mean, he should, but it also kind of goes into, more of the personal things and people's personal preferences about, obviously all the stuff off the course, I should say, about him and his estranged family and things like that. It's been a very interesting.
Because he's wearing a green jacket.
Yeah,
he's wearing the green jacket.
Wearing the green jacket and trying to equate that to other things, and that's not fair.
Well,
he's one of the most
baller on the course.
Yeah, he's one of the most prestigious golf tournaments.
Well, I feel like him and Ricky Jackson, you can't find Ricky Jackson without his Hall of Fame jacket. He wears that thing everywhere.
And it's like what Willie Wolf said.
That's a big jacket.
Exactly.
It would dwarf us.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so Jeff, I'm going to ask you for some homework here in a couple minutes. Do we have the tee times ready for tomorrow, round one, or has that not been set yet?
Well, it's been set. I don't know if I have it with me.
Well, here's the good thing. While I will pitch this to Larry because
Jeff's getting up. He's already put his hands up. He's like, we're 23 minutes in this show.
Yeah, you've already got him angry. But no, yesterday, Larry, was the ESPN NFL Nation full mock draft where they got everybody who covers NFL Nation.
Our buddies Michael Triplett and Catherine Terrell made picks. Yeah, and Mike ended up making an interesting pick.
Yes, and I was gonna actually broach you guys about that after I watched it yesterday because I got home right in time. First of all, as Catherine Terrell tweeted at us, she was just happy she got down those stairs and be able to make her pick because everything after that was gravy.
So she didn't wipe out.
She didn't wipe out. She did a really good job, and then she ended up selecting for the Bengals Billy Price, center out of Ohio State. So that was an interesting pick by her. Yeah. So
boring.
So of course the Falcons pick before the Saints if everything stays same. So Von McClure picked Deron Payne, defensive tackle out of Alabama, who obviously Josh Katzenstein has his number one at that pick.
Well, it's funny you say that. I did a mock draft with writers with Luke Easterling, who's going to be on in about an hour, and Deron Payne fell. And so I was like, I'm taking him. He would be a great fit for the Saints. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I don't think anyone would complain about that pick at all.
Absolutely not. But it was like, man, if he'd have fallen one more, you kind of had to figure, like Mike was going to have to say, no, we had to take this guy. But obviously, since he was taken before, it was interesting the pick that he did make, which was Calvin Ridley, wide receiver out of Alabama. So, we had him on last week, and we've had him on in subsequent weeks, talking about the draft and where the Saints could go. And I guess it was interesting seeing how the rest of the draft played out, and then for him to get to his pick to eventually end up, we've talked about wide receiver with this group before, but for him to take Calvin Ridley first, as opposed to maybe like a DJ Chark, Jeff's pick, Moore from Maryland, he was already off the board by that point. He was actually pretty high, so it was just an interesting pick. So I figured I want to get you guys' thoughts on that, on what Mike picked yesterday for the NFL Nation.
Look, I think Calvin Ridley would certainly be able to fit in within the offense. Now, how much would he play right away? I think that would be a question mark, because we already know Michael Thomas is on board. We know Ted Ginn's going to be a vital part of this offense. They just brought in Cameron Meredith, and Sean Payton actually spoke about Cameron Meredith and Willie Snead and all that situation yesterday, and they're hopeful that Cameron Meredith can be doing some work by the time, say, minicamp starts, so that would be mid-June. I'm thinking he probably won't be ready till training camp, but you're assuming Cameron Meredith is going to be playing this year. You brought back Brandon Coleman, and he's your number 4 receiver right now. So if Calvin Ridley would fall there, I'm curious to see what direction they would go with him, because I don't think he's a major return guy. I know Jeff was high on DJ Moore because that would be something he could do. And some other guys like, say, Christian Kirk out of Texas A&M, I feel like he would be more of a return guy too. I feel like Ridley would be strictly a wide receiver. And yet, here's the thing, if he's the best guy on the board, I don't know what the rest of the board looked like in that ESPN draft, but if he's the best guy on the board, I don't think the Saints hesitate. I think they take him and would feel fine with it.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if he's there. But the receivers tend to fall. I mean, you know, last year there were 3 receivers taken in the top 10. Corey Davis, Ross went to the Bengals. I'm forgetting the third guy. But none of them.
The guy from Clemson.
Yes. Scott, maybe?
No.
Williams. I think his name was Williams.
Mike Williams
or something. Anyway, point is, those 3 combined made 0 impact. I mean, they hardly produced. I don't think between the 3 of them they scored 1 touchdown. So
they helped bring the bad reputation of drafting a wide receiver high, because it's the reputation of where the 2014 class had such stud receivers, and everyone else has been I'm not going to say a total bust, but they have not produced like they should be, being high first-round picks.
Right, and so I think that there's some hesitation. I don't think this receiver class, draft class, is that talented. There's a lot of good players. I don't think there's any Mike Thomases in there. The Saints get Mike Thomas in the 2nd round, you know. But I did find the tee times, by the way. Okay. I did find the tee times.
All right, well, let's tease it. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Because good job, Jeffrey, even though throwing his hands up, he's like, I'm done with you, Arthur.
I brought him. And
out here, we can't just sell ourselves. We can't have nice things. All of a sudden, we're going to smash windows here at the 19th hole at the TPC Louisiana. Absolutely. No, we're not going to smash windows. What's the matter with you?
I'm sorry. I'm just...
Let's get to church. Let's go. No, I have nice things.
I set the tee times aside specifically to bring them over here and left them back in the media tent. So that's where I was upset about.
Okay, the good thing is that you had that the suntan lotion or sunblock that smells like a pina colada, so now I'm just pretty much wanting a...
Hey, I love this suntan lotion. I love the site we're at. I love getting sun out here. I love everything about it.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a break right here on the show. When we get back, we'll talk Saints, Pelicans, Jim Henderson documentary. We'll do all of that with Juan Kincaid, WVUE-TV, Fox 8, of course, the sports director, longtime face of sports media here in New Orleans. So we'll talk with Juan coming up next here. Sports 1280, NOLA.com, the iHeartRadio app. Duncan Holder.
You don't want it, girl, you don't know what you missing. I'm the basketball player walking. You ain't heard, I got a team of head busters waiting to give him the word. I got a few in the East Coast, a few in the West.
Your forecast on Sports 1280, New Orleans.
Yeah, see, DeMarco doesn't have a parking pass.
This report is brought to you by
That's exactly what I was getting at.
Yes.
I'm meteorologist Alejandro Norwood in the Fox 8 Weather Center. Looking at another.
I don't know where they went yesterday.
Quite a bit of sunshine around, and temperatures will start off in the 50s and warm.
And I don't know who it was.
70s by lunchtime, low 80s for your afternoon highs.
For 3 days.
We are seeing the moisture ramp up a little bit. We'll see more clouds cover late tonight and chance of rain during the early part of the day on Thursday. But that
YouTubers are hearing
out
YouTubers infighting.
I'm just going to tell DeMarco to get over Tom Long.
With youth or high school sports, Positive National Alliance can help.
Say, hey,
PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000
Right, I just, in the middle of a radio show, don't need to be doing this.
Well, no. Students and administrators. Visit PCA.
Sorry, you're the fixer of all problems, Jeff.
Yeah,
I'm the
tee times, parking passes.
Journalists have no idea how to call the PR person.
I've got this itch on my back. You need to come scratch it.
Open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. 2 locations to serve you.
in Bucktown at 1001 Live Oak between Bonneville and Lake Avenue, or in Kenner at 910 West Esplanade at Chateau Boulevard. Let Mr. Ed's cater your next event. Mr. Ed's Seafood and Italian Restaurant. 2 great locations, 1 great menu. Mr. Ed's Oyster Bar and Fish House.
Luke, have you checked out where in
if you own a gun for protection, you need legal defense.
I'm wondering if we're like
U.S. Law is now in Louisiana. If you must defend yourself, you have the nation's largest network of independent program attorneys passionate about your self-defense rights, ready to defend you, and you pay zero attorney's fees for covered events.
Because I know there, I mean, we're undercover.
Has no caps or tiers. Everyone gets the best coverage in the nation for $10.95 a month.
Right.
Go to uslawshield.com and hit radio off.
I was about to say, what else you doing?
US Law Shield.
That's all right. We got Joanna Man.
Joanna Man has her own special place in your heart.
God, that was such a bad movie.
That was such a bad
Or
movie.
gifts that celebrate everything she is. At Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry. It could be a bracelet Jared's experts help you create, or a special gift set just for mom, like the Flourishing Hearts gift set, just $99. Or melt her
look, I had to bring some Mary for us.
Love from Mother Charm, a Jared exclusive for just $55 while supplies last.
We're being bombarded by
That's right,
fans
to Jared.
or no one.
Who are you people? Hey, is there a place for y'all to put up like banners or, well, I mean, I know we can't like have stuff facing the course and all that jazz, but is there a place where we can put up like a pop-up that doesn't get us in trouble?
We can talk to Tyler.
A pop-up, I don't know. Like we're around a circular table.
Yeah, Luke sent me a picture of that, but it looks like y'all are y'all facing the course, or y'all?
Well, we could, but this one we do.
From the wall behind you, looking forward. I couldn't see that.
You might be able to put it up somewhere like here, but not probably there.
A glass wall, but I mean, we're like, obviously we can't do it today. So tomorrow,
no, right.
I would say unlikely.
Because I got Gordy coming out there tomorrow, and Friday.
So at 19th hole, you probably
10 seconds.
Sandwich, you
probably could.
The Wendy's
I don't know.
as a sandwich for you.
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, like logistically you can, but I don't know, like
time.
golf and long.
We bleed purple, green, blue, black, and gold. Sports 1280, New Orleans.
Ron Kincaid saw me feisty yesterday as we recorded some segments for the NFL Draft Special that's going to be airing on Fox 8 WVUE TV. He saw me. I am anti-tight end. Sean Fazand is pro-tight end. I don't think we got your take on that. Where are you in the tight end debate here, Juan?
I'm not a big fan of going after a tight end that early because I think it's almost like a running back, and that you don't need to get that kind of guy high to be successful. And I think there are a lot of tight ends on the team right now. In position. Is Kobe Fleener the answer? No, not at all. But I think he's better than bringing in a rookie tight end in the first round. I don't think it's that. It's an important position. It's not that important in this offense when you have so many other weapons like Kamara and Ingram and Michael Thomas. And I just think there's a lot of weapons you can utilize as opposed to wasting that first pick on a tight end.
100% agree. You said it perfectly, actually. It's not that you don't value the tight end position. It's just you got other needs. Round one, I think they've got to try and address the pass rush situation. I just don't know if they're going to be able to do it at 27. I really think they're just going to take the best player there, regardless of position that's on their board, and then they'll try and address needs lower in the draft. But what it's Mickey Loomis and Sean Payton in selecting Arden Key. Where would you pull the trigger on him?
If we had a second-round pick, I'd go second round. Obviously, since we've done, I would say third. But at the same time, I think this kid, somebody I think is going to get a really good player that's motivated, that is right now trying to prove all the doubters wrong because his last year at LSU left a lot to be desired. He just was not the player that he was the year before that, and that was disappointing. But we also know there were so many things going on. Now, having said that, he's got some things in his life that he has to figure out and clear up. He has to decide what kind of, how big of a priority is football going to be in his life, as opposed to the other things that have basically taken his mind away from football and made him less of a dominant player over the last year. So with that, I would say it's still hard to find a pass rusher in the draft that can affect the defense in his first year. I'm not sure Arden Key is that guy, but I think if we had a second-round pick, and he's still available, I think I would take a chance on that because, I mean, the upside is incredible. But if you miss on that, then it's one of those things where you just got to bite the bullet. Look, this team has missed many times before with players that aren't as hyped as Arden Key is or has been in the past. So I would say second round, but if he's a third round, man, you've really got to look at taking him and just saying, you know what, we'll roll the dice on this one. Local kid, we've seen him play at his best. We think he can get there again. We think we can get in there again.
Juan Kincaid, WVUE TV, Fox 8, joining us right here on Dunc and Holder as we're live at TP. When you look at some of the other needs for the Saints, what are you targeting? We've heard Sean Payton yesterday talk defensive end, offensive line, tight end, linebacker. He says they still need to grab any of those positions. Anything that kind of catches your eye that maybe they should either ponder or upgrade it at a different position?
Well, I'll be honest with you, and we talked about this, Larry, about the pickup of offensive linemen and how this team, you know, with Zach Street's retired, you got a hole to fill there, not really as a starter, but as a backup guy. And you lose Senio Calamete, you need depth on the offensive line. I would not have a problem if they ended up taking the best offensive lineman available at number 27, because you can never have too many good offensive linemen, as we saw with the injuries that happened last year. Calamete was used in so many different positions from guard to tackle. I think you need another player that can be versatile on the offensive line. After that, I think I would look more at linebacker. I just don't think you're going to find a difference-making pass rusher in this draft. You're not going to find a difference-making tight end in the right around this draft. And even early on, I'm not sure how much any of these guys really wow you. I know Sean has his eyes on Goddard, I think his name is. But at the same time, I mean, how good is he going to be early on? I think Ben Watson fills that role for you right now, as well as the other guys that are on the roster. So I would say first with me, I would look offensive line. And then secondly, I would look at linebacker, because you still have some pieces there. You need to obviously get better at the outside part of the linebacking crew.
All right, well, let's switch gears and talk about the documentary on Hondo. Jim Henderson, of course, longtime voice of the New Orleans Saints, also longtime broadcaster in the New Orleans area. Tell us a little bit about the doc and also about what led you all to decide to put it up.
Well, it's called Jim Henderson, The Legend Signs Off, and it airs at 6 o'clock on Fox 8. It's an hour-long special, Jeff, and you've known Jim as long, probably longer than I have, and you know what he's meant to this community. It's not just a broadcaster, but just as a person. He's as honest a guy as you're going to meet. He's as wonderful a writer as you'll ever meet, and he's as much of a family man as anybody that you know. And I think we kind of tackle all three of those things in this documentary. We've got everyone from Mike Tirico and Jim Nance to his wife Stump, who has been his rock for almost 50 years this year, their marriage, and his son Derek and his daughter Lindsay, and other things thrown in there. We touch on things from his relationship with Hokie. There's so many layers to this documentary we did on Jim. It's basically just telling the story of his life, to how he came to become the man, the broadcaster, the father, the husband that he is today. And I'm really proud of this thing that John Bennett, my producer, and I put together. We sat down and mapped it out and figured out who we wanted to talk to and who we felt has been an inspiration in Jim's life and has helped kind of mold him into the person he is today, not just professionally, but just personally. And I think people are going to really enjoy it. We show you a bit of a different side of Jim outside of the broadcast booth that many people didn't know, and get to find out a little bit more about the man. And this really is our way of saying thank you for everything he's done for all of us in this business, because we've all come up behind him. I came here at Channel 4 in 01 because of Jim, because I wanted to learn from the best, and all I heard was, this is the guy to follow, and it couldn't have been more true. So I'm really proud to kind of talk about him in so many glowing ways. And it's not all good things either. There were some struggles along the way. So it was a fun documentary to put together. It was about finding out more about Jim and his life, broadcasting professionally, personally, and it was a lot of fun. So looking forward to banging it tonight.
Warren, what did you learn? Anything you learned that you, look, obviously you've known Jim Henderson for, you said it, you started working with him in 2001. Anything that struck you that you never knew about him within doing this?
Well, I think that the one thing that kind of stood out to me is just how difficult this was on his family and how many choices they had to make along the way. He talks about they had to move 7 times in like the first year and a half, 2 years before he landed here in New Orleans. he never meant to stay here more than a year. He thought he'd go back to Atlanta. And then, of course, the opportunity comes along to be with CBS, and people thought, oh, he's not going to stay here. He's a national guy. Even Archie Manning talks and says, you know what, we were so lucky to have Jim Henderson as long as we did because he could have gone nationally, but he developed a real love for New Orleans and for Louisiana, and stuff really goes into detail about that, how they were at dinner one night, and all their plans were to be here for a year and go back to Atlanta, but then they start talking to their friends from Atlanta about, you know, we love this and that, and then they thought, well, why are we trying to leave? So I think just how they got here and stayed here is a big part of the story, but also the struggles along the way of, you know, keeping the family strong and taking advantage of the amount of time that you have together during a football season. We all know it's hell during football season. You don't see your family hardly at all because the NFL just kind of engulfs you a little bit. And Jim did that for 40 years.
Yeah, Juan,
football, 31 years on the radio.
And Juan, you all got a big lineup tonight. In addition to the documentary, you've got your draft preview as well. And we were talking at the beginning of the show, what a crazy week it is. It's fun. We talk about the stresses we have, but what a crazy week with the Pelicans playing on Saturday out in Oakland. We've got the golf tournament out here. You got the NFL draft. This is as busy a week and as crazy a week as we've seen in a while.
And, Jeff, I'm guessing you'll be escaping and going to Jazz Fest, not doing sports, right?
No, not at all. But I will be escaping next week to the Kentucky Derby. I will be doing that.
And the Derby's coming up, too, because Mrs. Benson has a horse there. I mean, we were talking in the office yesterday. 2011, we think, is the last time when all these things overlapped involving basketball with the Pelicans, of course, the Hornets, and playing in the NBA playoffs. And it's a crazy week, but it's a wonderful week. It's nice to have this level of sports back in our community again because for so long, the last 3 years, we haven't had playoff basketball. And all it really has is the draft and the golf tournament. You got the best golf tournament Zurich has ever happened as far as the field coming in, and everyone's loving the new format, and we're looking forward to the draft. Maybe not as much as last year because we had those 5 picks in the first 3 rounds, whatever it was, but we're still looking forward to the draft to see this team continue to build on what we believe could be another Super Bowl contender next year. So it's a crazy week. Our draft coverage with a draft game plans at 10:35 on Fox 8, so it's a full day of sports and football talk and gym and everything, but you know, Jeff, you do this because you love this business and you love talking about sports, and it's what we love to do. So we're looking forward to bringing all this stuff to our viewers tonight.
Juan, one more we'll let you run. Juan Kincaid, WEUE TV, Fox 8, the sports director, joining us right here on Dunc and Holder as we're live at Zurich Classic of New Orleans, TPC, Louisiana, out in Avondale. Juan, no one would have anticipated the Pelicans sweeping the Blazers. Maybe a lot of us who watched them, we could have thought they would have had a good shot at winning that series. But now they're going to be taking on the Warriors. And just what are your impressions of the Pelicans going into this series?
Well, I think, first off, you got to give a lot of credit to Alvin Gentry for the job that he's done with this basketball team over the last month and a half. When you lose DeMarcus Cousins, but you don't, you have a little slip, but then you pick back up and you win 10 in a row, and you keep into the playoffs. You won 9 in a row now. I mean, it's amazing how he's been able to kind of change the offensive philosophy on the fly. Give him credit for that. But you've had other players that have really stepped up. Drew Holiday's playing at an all-star level right now, at the all-star level he played back when he was in Philly. Anthony Davis is being Anthony Davis, but you've got guys making shots, and Rajon Rondo's kind of got the keys to the car, and he's driving it. I thought that the Portland series was the perfect one for them because of the matchup. You had good guard play on both sides. If you could stop it, you could beat them. So I thought they would beat Portland. Not a sweep, obviously. Golden State, it all depends on Steph Curry. If he's healthy and playing early on, the Pelicans, I think they will struggle to win this series. If he's not healthy, I love the matchups then. I love Draymond Green and Nikola Mirotic against each other. I love Anthony Davis going against Kevin Durant. And I love Drew Holiday locking up Klay Thompson. I love those matchups. But you got to get other guys involved. If Steph doesn't play the first 2 games, you can steal a game in Golden State, and then you never know what could happen. So the way this team is playing as a team right now and playing defense, I wouldn't count them out. But again, it depends on the matchups tonight. But it's going to be a good series to look forward to.
Juan Kincaid, WVUE TV, Fox 8 sports director. Of course, they've got the Jim Henderson documentary is from 6 to 7 tonight. Their NFL draft special, 10:35 tonight. Loaded sports day over at Fox 8. And Juan, appreciate you taking the time out, buddy.
My pleasure, guys. Enjoy the Champions.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a break right here on the show. When we get back, Jeff will go over some of the tee times for tomorrow.
Got some notes on the Pels Warriors, too. Some interesting stuff.
We'll certainly jump on that as well. Don't forget, top 11 o'clock hour, we're going to have Steve Worthy, CEO of the 4Kids Foundation, and, of course, they put on the Zurich Classic of New Orleans as we're live here at the 19th hole. And don't forget, 11:30, we'll talk with Luke Easterling from the Draft Wire, part of the USA Today Sports Network. So we'll talk with him around 11:30. And fit in your phone calls if you want to jump on. 504-260-1280 is the number to get involved here. Sports 1280, NOLA.com, the iHeartRadio app. Dunc and Holder.
Looks on my leg. That's good stuff there.
Josh and his show listener bingo.
Some of the squares include, oh yeah, look at you.
So I got this lotion. Little story behind it. Little story.
Jim laughed uncontrollably.
Was in Maui. Oh, nice. Had a final night in Maui without my girlfriend and her family, by myself because I couldn't get on the same flight. So I ended up staying in a little town called Paia, big surf community on the north shore of Maui, hanging out at the pizza place, wood fire pizza place. Met these guys that are like professional surfers. This is all they use, was this shakalaka. It says the best lotion in the world, and I trusted those guys, so I'm now ordering from Maui every year. You are an idiot. And you know, if anything, it makes me want to be back in Hawaii and want to be in Hawaii so bad. Oh, man. Oh, my God. I always love that lifestyle. Because it gives you a I see why people get, like, into it. And then, like, especially if you, like that sound, like, I'm sure on the North Shore, Lahaina area, like, just having, like, everything right along the beachfront. Seeing him stroll. Will lives out there. He lives, like, a few blocks away from where I was at. And he said he'd just been in there the night before. Remember Don Nelson, the NBA coach? Yeah, Mavericks coach. Yeah, he lives, like, right down the road from Paia. Wow. Just hangs out.
Can sponsor a child.
And Oprah's got a big place out there.
It's pocket change.
Just like Mike D'Antoni hangs out in Lewisburg, West Virginia.
Become a sponsor now at compassion.com.
I don't get it.
Why would you do that? Radio.
Del Sol in Lewisburg, Virginia. Of all places.
The new Prince William and Kate
on planet Earth, going on at the table next to us. Mike D'Antoni.
What are you doing here? We might around there to visit Jerry West, because West is out there.
He's from West Virginia.
That makes sense.
So of course we're looking it up on our phone. He's right next to us. Like, what the hell's Mike D'Antoni doing here?
Amazing how many famous like coaches are from West Virginia. Saban
going to have trouble keeping up with
Jerry West is a player. Yeah, and then there was another famous football coach. I'm trying to think of who it is.
Dwayne Johnson welcoming a new baby
girl. You ever heard of Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah, he's a wrestler, former wrestler. Started wrestling.
Tiana and Gia Johnson, both already parents to a 2-year-old daughter.
You all see Reggie come through? No, we were paying attention to Reggie. I was looking. It should be right around the top of the hour, I would think. If he teed up at 8:30,
ruling against Madonna because she waited too long to sue and get back some of her possessions. Under state law in New York, Madonna had 3 years to recover personal items that she claimed went missing after she moved out of her Miami home in 2004. Some of the possessions include a love letter from the late rapper Tupac Shakur.
I've been wrong once before.
Might have got eaten by the gator.
Janet Jackson extending her State of the World tour with new shows in the U.S. this summer.
At the top of the hour, 5 minutes, is there enough time you think to go get some
Gatorade to go run and get some Gatorade?
Yeah, that wouldn't be time. I guess we can get Luke to get it.
Miami, Cincinnati, Los Angeles, and New York City.
He walked out to the
Jennifer Bolsoni, NBC News Radio.
Where's the Acme tent?
It's all the way in 17.
This is Dunc and Holder on Sports 1280, New Orleans.
More golfers on the 9th green. I don't think we're screaming loud enough that they would actually hear us, but you never know. Clyde might get on a
I think get on a rant later on today.
Like a Southern Charm, New Orleans rant, and then you might go bonkers, and people might be screaming at you. But
I think you got that out of me yesterday. So
I think we did.
Yeah, his John Moody rant was epic.
I'm sorry, man, but at the end of the day,
here we go.
I'm a big proponent of if like you have, if with friends like that, not only do you not need enemies, you don't need anything bad to happen in your life because it will all happen because you're a friend with John Moody.
Apparently, you don't need shirts either. So
yeah, that's true. But I mean, I can guarantee right now, if I walk around with him, ain't nobody gonna be walking up to either one of us.
Why, you're not gonna walk around shirtless?
No, I'm just gonna say that. I think I kind of. I lessen his likability.
Shirtless Clyde here at TPC Louisiana.
Why is this man in a coat and no shirt?
Why is Clyde shirtless? I don't know. Why is he now all of a sudden wearing a Speedo?
Why is he being accosted by marshals?
Exactly.
The green putts from left.
We know why. Exactly. All right, Jeff. Let's get some of the primetime tee times tomorrow. Of course, they're going to change Thursday, Friday, and just as a reminder, the walk-up music does not start until Saturday, so you've got to make the cut to even get walk-up music.
Well, look, I think if you're coming out tomorrow, the time to get out here is around 8:30 because there's a string of really elite teams playing in a row. Starting like at 8:26, you got Steve Stricker and David Duvall, Jim Furyk, so a lot of old-time, big-name players in that group. Then right after them, this is on the 10th tee, by the way, not number 1, but on 10. They'll start on 10. Right after that, you've got Justin Thomas, of course, one of the top players in the world, top 5 players in the world, one of the young stars in the world. He tees off at 8:39 with Bud Cauley, his teammate. Daniel Berger's in that group. Then right after that, this is all on 10, 8:52 a.m., Jordan Spieth, Ryan Palmer, who are playing in the Pro-Am today with Rahm and Wesley Bryan. And then the next group is Billy Horschel, Scott Piercy, Sergio Garcia, and Rafa Cabrera Bello, his good buddy. Then after that, you've got J.B. Holmes and Brandt Snedeker. So it's a great lineup right in a row, starting about 8:30 tomorrow morning on the 10th tee.
I'm borderline surprised that we're out here today at the Pro-Am and Drew Brees isn't playing with Sergio Garcia, because aren't they related through marriage?
Yes. Drew's, let's see now. It'd be
like his cousin?
His cousin married
Sergio.
Yes.
That's crazy.
They have the same grandparents.
Right.
Ray Atkins, and she is an Atkins. So, yeah, I guess it would be Drew's mother's. So it'd be Drew's uncle. Yeah, she's the daughter of Drew's uncle. So, yeah, it's an interesting group. I'm surprised he's not out here, too. He loves to play.
He's played in the past. Maybe it's something to do. I don't know.
He's got a busy schedule. There's no doubt.
Right. I mean, we've seen Sean and Drew play this event a few times. Heck, we've seen Mark Ingram play this event a few times. But I'm curious to see Reggie out here, because I can tell you one year when we were out here, when Champ Bailey had the cup of coffee with the Saints and, of course, never made the roster, we were standing at the driving range. You know, they're warming up, and Champ Bailey was on the very last, say, tee box spot, whatever, and he said, I would be careful, you guys, if you were standing next to me. And he literally hit a ball sideways. Literally sideways. If we were standing there, he would have hit us. And he's not exactly Mr. Golfer, I would say. But, hey, he wasn't exactly Mr. Cornerback for the Saints either. So, hey, you know, never know.
I think there's some irony there that he hit something sideways.
Just a fun memory of the Zurich.
That's kind of the way he ran with the football. The ball and Reggie always go sideways.
No. That's a Champ Bailey. I don't know if Reggie.
Champ Bailey. I'm sorry, I got confused.
Any chance to rip?
Really quick, another group, like if you can't get out Thursday morning, you can't get out that early, the groups I mentioned, and you want to come out a little later.
That's at high noon, huh? Usually that's a primetime spot.
Yeah, you get out here tomorrow at, say, 1 o'clock. You've got Jason Day teeing off in the same foursome as Brooks Koepka at 1:30. This is on the first tee.
And Brooks Koepka is the reigning U.S. Open champion.
Yes. Correct, and this will be his first tournament of the year. He's coming off an injury, so this will be his first action of the year. And then right after that group, at 1:44, you've got Patrick Reed, of course, the defending Masters champion. He is teeing off in the same group as Jonas Blixt. And then at 1:57, right behind them is Justin Rose, Heinrich Stenson, Bubba Watson, and Matt Kuchar. So
that is a primo.
That's a stack.
Top four. I would say across the board, that's probably Yeah.
And so that's all like in the 1:30 range tomorrow. So if you want to play a little hooky from work and get out here around noon, that'd be a great lineup.
Well, Jeff, who are you going to be following tomorrow after the show? Or are you going to be following?
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to try and follow Patrick Reed and see what kind of following he has, fresh off of the Masters Championship. See if he's wearing his green jacket out to the actual practice tee.
You're going to wear a U-High hat just so you'll notice, like,
well, hey, guy. No, but I did follow Patrick Reed at the Masters when I covered it the last time, and he made a bold run there. I mean, he played very well. Got a chance to know his wife a little bit. His family was out there, and yeah, it was. He could see the potential in Patrick Reed. He almost won that tournament when I was out there a few years ago, and he just couldn't quite finish. And that's what happens for these young players. And now he's got his total game. I think he's playing very confidently. He's been a great team format player for the United States in Ryder Cup action. So it's no surprise that he's going to be one of the favorites here, along with Patrick Cantlay in this tournament.
Absolutely. And again, we are live here at the 19th hole. Just to describe where we are, if you're going to be coming on out the next couple of days, we are nestled between the 9th green, the first tee box, and you can also see the 18th hole. There's a reason why it's the 19th hole. They rock and roll in here, especially after the rounds are over.
Yes,
they have some big action.
But no music in here. Usually have live music one night. This is if you haven't been out to the Zurich, and I know we always talk about how great it is. It is my favorite New Orleans sporting event. I mean, it's so well run, so efficient, and they really make it fan friendly. I would highly recommend coming out sometime this weekend, especially with the great weather we're getting.
We would always say that even before they had great fields. Now they have great fields.
Yeah.
So if you're a golf aficionado, there's another reason to do it. But I'm telling you, Jeff, we could see across at the 18th fairway where they've got the Champions Club and you've got the suites over there. And I wonder how the golfers even handle going on 18, because New Orleanians are just partying in there.
Yeah.
It's ruckus, racket. They put up the quiet please sign. Basically, everyone's like, I don't care, I'm drinking. It's like a ruckus atmosphere over there.
And the same thing at 17 with that's where the Acme tent, which is where we'll be. What, tomorrow? We'll be at Acme.
We'll be there Friday. No. Tomorrow.
Yeah,
tomorrow. Champions Club will be there Friday.
17th, which is, by the way, where Tripod hangs out, that little lake next to 17th.
Well, you're going to lose a limb.
So hopefully we see Tripod. Tripod rules the roost out here.
As a probably hundreds of, at least 1,000-pound alligator probably should.
A 3-legged 1,000-pound.
We need Troy Landry to come catch him. Hour number 1 is up. Hour number 2 is on the way. We're going to be on the lookout for Steve Worthy, CEO of the 4Kids Foundation. He's going to jump on set live to talk about Zurich Classic. Don't forget, 11:30 we will talk NFL Draft with Luke Easterling. I know Jeff's got some interesting tidbits for the upcoming Pelicans Warriors series. We don't have Will Guillory on tomorrow. Honestly, I think that's my fault. I just was too busy, and all of a sudden, we'll have them on later in the week, of course, because they're going to be taking on the Warriors. So come on back here, live at the TPC Louisiana at Zurich Classic, Sports 1280, NOLA.com, the iHeartRadio app. Dunc and Holder.
Okay, they got game 1 updated. Dave, can you hear me?
Do you know the power of an idea?
9:30 Saturday.
The Latron Corporation has grown through people and their ideas. It all started in 1949 when our founder, Jan, invented true peeling machines in the industry. Jan founded the Latron companies, Interlocks, LaPierre, Latron Machinery, and Latron Machine Shop. The people of these companies have patented hundreds of new inventions used around the world. If you have good ideas and want to help create the next Latron innovation, visit Latron.com for a full listing of positions.
It's the Ace Buy One Get One Free sale. Don't miss great Buy One Get One Free deals throughout the store. So many BOGOs, we can't name them all. Start the season right with savings on quality products from Scott's, Roundup, Ortho, and more. There are so many BOGOs and so many ways to save. Hurry in. The Ace Buy One Get One Free sale ends Monday. Offers valid at participating stores. Buy select item and get designated item free. See store for details.
WODT WNOE FM HD2 New Orleans. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app. Search Sports 1280. Fox Sports trending now.
We'll kick things off first in the NBA. Golden State Warriors, they are advancing.
Catches, turns, fires, it's up, it's good at the buzzer. Klay Thompson ends the first half with a bucket and arms upraised. Doesn't stop, just heads to the tunnel.
Klay with 24, Kevin Durant, the high man, with 25. Golden State advances to round number 2 after beating San Antonio 99-91. Celtics up 3-2 in their series over the Bucks, winning by 5 last night. 76ers eliminated the Miami Heat 104-90. Dwayne Wade did say after the ball game he will not make a decision on retirement until later on in the season, later on during the summertime. For a complete scoreboard with breaking news, hit us up online at foxsports.com. In the NFL, Antonio Callaway failed a drug test. Tested positive for marijuana with a diluted sample. Rob Gronkowski will come back with the Patriots in 2018. I'm David Gascon.
Your shot at 1,000.
5 minutes, guys.
The keyword Bills to 200-200. You'll get a text confirming entry plus iHeartRadio. Standard data and message rates apply. That's Bills to 200-200.
We're here in this new neighborhood to talk about the American dream. Looking good, boys. A dream that Navy Federal Credit Union wants to help you celebrate with a mortgage that you won't lose sleep over. Navy Federal offers 100% financing, no private mortgage insurance, and even no money down on a variety of conventional and VA loans. So start living your dream today. Subject to approval, 100% financing loans include an additional funding fee. Visit NavyFederal.org for more information. Open to the Armed Forces, the DoD, veteran, and their families. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Ryan! I don't know how else to say this, so I'll just say it!
What is it, Linda?
I think we should see other people!
Are you breaking up with me? On a roller coaster?
Well, we do have a lot of fun! Maybe we should stay together!
So an emotional roller coaster? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
I just need a little me time!
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Hi, Eric Ashwood, celebrity chef Scott Craig of Katie's. Scott, you have to be excited about Katie's expanded second floor seating and private dining rooms.
Yeah, but how about my vast local sports knowledge?
You know sports, but shouldn't we be talking about your award-winning Sunday brunch?
I'd rather talk about the Saints and the Pels.
How about your award-winning pizza or daily specials?
The Saints.
I admit you have a great take on local sports, but what about
Katie's? The food speaks for itself.
Katie's open 7 days a week in the heart of Mid-City at 3701 Oppenheimer.
Sports 1280 New Orleans. Instant replay. Josh Innes, morning 6 to 10.
A woman broke into a home in Monroe, Louisiana.
Hey, Monroe, North Louisiana. Where you at? Hollywood Bowl.
She didn't take anything except for a bath for some reason. 29-year-old Evelyn Washington was arrested on burglary charges.
Especially when
that's an odd one.
Let's just take a bath.
Keep this riff-raff out.
But, let me ask you this, though. Was she like some kind of hobo that was just desperate for a bath, or was she some, hot chick that wanted to read her 50 Shades books in the tub?
I don't know if she's a hot chick, but she's not homeless. She's 29, and she was arrested on burglary charges after she was found naked in the victim's tub eating some Cheetos, which she did steal from the victim as well from the kitchen.
I see. You know what? If you don't steal anything, I don't think it should be burglary.
Nope, trespassing is all that is.
Well, they had to charge her with the burglary because, she did technically steal the Cheetos, and she did break the window to get in, so that was property damage. Now, Washington, the girl that was arrested, claimed that she's not at fault for this, though. She says an unknown male had told her to break into the house, so she had to do it.
I think she probably broke into the house because the only house in the neighborhood had one of those telescopic, wall faucets.
Yeah, we need to talk
those are fun.
Yeah. And we know what the ladies like to use that for.
Oh, we...
I'm not saying I wouldn't, but I haven't.
You got off your ass and bought me one and start buying lamps.
You sit here and you waste all this money on frivolous things when we can have a bathtub with a wand.
Listen live weekdays on Sports 1280 and the free iHeartRadio app, or catch up at sports1280.com.
When someone hears the words, "You have cancer," it's one of the darkest moments in their life. Light the Night brings light to the darkness of cancer by uniting survivors, patients, and supporters in the cause to end cancer. We form a community of hope, raising funds in support of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. The discoveries made by LLS-supported research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. When we walk, cancer runs. Join the movement to end cancer today. Visit us at lightthenight.org.
It's Autism Awareness Month. Dr. Steve Merritt of Michigan Century and Healthcare says the spectrum is so broad that for years, children were misdiagnosed.
As we got better and better at understanding behaviors on the spectrum and getting better at diagnosis, we've really been able to, in many ways, identify and get these kids into treatment programs in ways that didn't.
No, I know. Especially in Kentucky.
Extraordinarily shy.
30 seconds.
ADD or behavioral disorders are now being properly diagnosed. The first step toward...
Oh, y'all got Steve there?
Never had one.
He's not here yet.
Dr. Marin also said...
He's on his way. I know that.
Wow. 15 seconds.
Okay. Autism.
Autism is so complex, and there's many aspects of the brain and nerve.
Is Luke back yet?
No, Luke went on a mission, apparently.
Okay.
They went to the Acme tent to go, like, scope out where we might
be for tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm just, like, curious.
All right. Over here?
Yeah.
Hey, bud. Good. See you. Everything's great. We want you over here. If you can pop in here and put that headset on, we'll dive right in. Great day, bud.
Duncan Holder, hour number 2 on a Wednesday, April 25th. Can't get much better than this. We're at the 19th hole at TPC Louisiana. It's their Classic of New Orleans. First round starts tomorrow, and pleased to be joined once again, live and in person this time, by Steve Worthy, CEO of the 4Kids Foundation. Of course, they put on the Zurich Classic, and I think did you like do a little rain getaway dance? Because this is glorious weather, and today, and I'm sure the next few days are going to be awesome.
I think they are. No, my weather control skills in the past have not worked very well, so I can't take credit for the good this week, but we're thrilled. The forecast is good. It's beautiful today. People are out playing in the Pro-Am, so all is good.
Absolutely.
And the field this year, we've talked about it, Steve. Looks to be the best field we've ever had out at the tournament. You've got 10 of the top 15 players in the world, 4 of the top 5. Can you just talk about the effort that went in? And it sounds to me like the play coming back, the team format seems to be very attractive to them.
Because they heard all the great reviews from guys who played last year. So, you know, statistically, our field is better this year than last year, based on, you know, we don't award world ranking points, but they calculated what it would have been. So we were higher this year, and that's a great, you know, testament to the depth of the field. I mean, both at the top end, but through the teens and 20s and 30s. I mean, we've got so many highly ranked guys, and it's a very deep, very good field. We're happy about it.
And you've got a new, I guess, addition to the tournament that it really opened a lot of people's eyes and drawn a lot of attention to the tournament. You're going to have walk-up music.
Took my question. I was ready to ask it.
That's what I do.
Awesome.
That's what I do. And it starts, let people know, it starts on Saturday. It doesn't start on Thursday in the first round. But when did this come about? The PGA Tour obviously endorsed it, was involved. And what's the reaction been like to it?
Well, the reaction has been unbelievable. I mean, the social media buzz, the overall media buzz has been unbelievable. Well, yeah, more than I expected, probably. We actually talked about it leading into last year, but we weren't sure we had all the music rights issues worked out, so we wanted to be sure. You know, throughout the last year, we kind of made sure that we had the rights to use the songs. It's all, you know, we got all done. Players, we've almost got every song. We were hoping to be done by now, but I think we've got 3 or 4 left to go. But you know, they've embraced it. They see it as a way to show some personality. I think the PGA Tour released some of the list last night, and again, the social media buzz was funny. I mean, there are some interesting choices, funny choices. You know, yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I think a lot of people will get a chance to see, you know, kind of how they represent themselves with some of the songs.
What would your walk-up music be?
Well,
on the spot.
I'm an LSU guy, so I would probably go something that relates to LSU. Funny, a song came on the radio the other night. I'm not a huge Eminem guy, but "Lose Yourself" is an Eminem song it played, and especially that dramatic part in the beginning. It hit me. I thought, well, you know, that wouldn't be bad walk-up music, but I'd probably go safe and stick with something LSU.
Now, I know the reaction's been over the top on this. Was there with that had any blowback from anybody saying, look, this is turned into WWE wrestling?
You know, I have to admit, with my background, I was at the Memorial Tournament for 5 years, which is very traditional, and the U.S. Open for 15. So the thought of walk-up music for me was, you know, I was a little, I don't want to say I was skeptical, but I wondered how it would be received. And then started talking to players, and they were so excited about it, enthused about it, that, you know, I pretty quickly got on board. You know, if you look at Twitter and social media, the response has probably been 96, 98% positive. Yes, there's the occasional tweet, you're ruining the traditions, and when are you going to have a T-shirt cannon and things like that.
Running mascots.
I didn't think that was funny, but I got a kick out of that one. But I don't think people understand. It's really just kind of a 15-second clip that's going to touch on the personality. It's not going to change the routine on the first tee. It's not going to delay anything. So I think because of the city, because we're in New Orleans, because of the different format with the team, I think it fits here, and the way the guys have embraced it, I think it just adds one more talking point.
Steve Worthy, CEO of the 4Kids Foundation. Of course, they put on the Zurich Classic of New Orleans each and every year. We're here at the 19th hole today. Tomorrow we will be at the Acme tent. Friday we'll be at the Champions Club. Steve's moving this around. Maybe he wants to get us away from humanity a little bit, but no, we're going to get to see the full scale of the course. You've had a lot of repeat people who come in and year out. Which maybe of the first-time guys were you, or obviously excited to see commit and kind of fired up, and what were maybe some of the reasons why they came?
Well, we're excited about John Rahm, ranked number 3 in the world. That's an easy choice. We reached out to him last year, and I think he might have had a little partner situation that didn't work out for him. But thrilled to have him. Talked to him in the fall at an event, and he was very enthusiastic. I think for some of the guys who had not been here for some number, 6, 8, 10 years, whether it's a Jim Furyk, a Zach Johnson, Matt Kuchar, Sergio Garcia, you've got a lot of guys who had been here some number of years ago, and to get them back, again, I heard feedback from a number of guys saying they talked to other players who said, our people take such good care of them. It's so much fun. Obviously, the city's great. So, we always want to attract new people, but that would probably be a short list of the guys that, I don't want to leave anybody out, but that's a pretty good list.
Well, he's the number 3 player in the world, so you're right to say, all right, we're glad he's here. Absolutely.
Well, you got to be excited about getting Patrick Reed back. I mean, Patrick Reed on the heels of winning the Masters. Obviously, a lot of Louisiana connections to him. That's another headliner for the tournament, and also I'm sure he's going to have a huge following.
Absolutely. I mean, yesterday he was here. I spoke to him, and he said, I'm just happy to be back at work. He was practicing hard Monday afternoon yesterday, and talked to him. He was in incredibly positive spirits. Obviously, coming off a Masters win, is very happy right now, signing autographs. But he was very complimentary. He loves the team. Hey, he's Mr. Team Golf. You look at what he's done in the Ryder Cup.
Right.
So we're thrilled to have him. I mean, the Louisiana connections are always great. So he's a good one.
And you got some new sponsorships this year. I know the Champions Club, I guess, got Fidelity. Anything else new that we need to know about for the tournament?
Well, our Champions Club is a very popular venue. You guys will get to experience that later this week. Fidelity Bank will become our official bank and take title sponsorship of the venue. 8 of the best restaurants in the city, a great crowd, a view on 18. So, we're thrilled to have them. I see us continuing to grow, with a good weather week, and I would certainly expect record crowds this week. I think we'll just continue to add new sponsors, who knows, new venues going forward. So, our membership is working really hard this week. Want to put on a great show, and at the end of the day want to raise as much money for charity as we can, and they're very proud, they're very excited about the week, and I think it's going to lead us to bigger and better things as we go forward.
And anything, I feel like I've asked you this before, but anything new on the course, or it's basically traditionally what players have seen in the past?
Yeah, it's very similar this year. I mean, being a TPC property, they get a lot of feedback from players. The green, the overriding thing I've heard from all the players is what good shape the greens are in, and that's huge. If the greens are bumpy, you hit a good putt and it bounces offline and goes somewhere else, those guys can get a little upset about that, and that is not the case at all. The greens are perfect, so no real changes on the golf course.
All right, Steve Worthy, CEO of the 4Kids Foundation. Of course, they put on the Zurich Classic of New Orleans as we're live here at the 19th hole, nestled between the 9th green, the first tee box. We can see the 18th fairway and green. Great spot to come watch it, and great to have Steve here join us.
We appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
Thank
you. I guess we'll get you again on
Friday as the tournament progresses.
Sure.
Absolutely. All right,
Sounds
Steve,
great.
appreciate it. All right, let's take a break right here on the show. Don't forget, in about 15 minutes, we'll talk NFL Draft. with Luke Easterling of Draft Wire, USA Today Sports Network. Also, we'll take your phone calls. 504-260-1280 is the number to get involved here. Sports 1280, NOLA.com, and the iHeart Radio app. Dunc and Older.
From the first pitch to the last out, we've got your Cakes tickets all season long. Sports1280.com/contests.
If you own a gun for protection, you need legal defense for self-defense. U.S. Law Shield is now in Louisiana. If you must defend yourself, you have the nation's largest network of independent program attorneys passionate about your self-defense rights, ready to defend you. And you'll pay zero attorney's fees for defense. USLawShield.com has no caps or tiers. Everyone gets the best coverage. USLawShield.com. That's USLawShield.com.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. It's the Ace Buy One Get One Free sale. Don't miss great Buy One Get One Free deals throughout the store. So many BOGOs, we can't name them all. Start the season right. So many ways to save. Hurry in. The Ace Buy One Get One Free sale ends Monday. Offers valid at participating stores. Buy select item and get designated item free. See store for details.
Despite stock market gyrations and rising inflation, American consumers are even more confident this month than last. The Conference Board's mid-April index increased by more than expected after slipping last month, and it's just below the record high set in February. No job like the top job, as Elisa Z reports Walmart CEO makes more than 1,000 times what the average Walmart employee does.
During the company's last fiscal year, Doug McMillan earned every 2 hours. McMillan earns more than the average worker does in a year. Most of his compensation came in the form of stock awards, with his base pay just $1.3 million. The disparity is getting a little smaller by comparison. Former CEO Michael Elisa Z, NBC News Radio.
But even he might have to stretch to buy this house, an exclusive property on Malibu's so-called Billionaire's Beach. Jason Campidonia reports.
The Los Angeles Times is reporting that it's the most expensive home ever sold in Los Angeles County at a record $110 million. And it's now owned by a tycoon. The previous record for most expensive sale was the Playboy Mansion and another home in that neighborhood for around $100 million apiece. The Times reports that the Malibu property sits on a half an acre on PCH, and it includes 2 structures with more than 100 feet of private beach.
Appreciate it. And then we'll see you Friday.
NBC News Radio.
Good deal. Thanks, Steve.
Unintended consequences or not, starting at the end of May, the European Union will start requiring tech companies and hurt small tech companies, because Facebook and Google have loads of money and they can easily pay to get that. European Union regulators, big companies are in the position to hurt privacy the most, but they can't lead the rule with percentage. Consumer and Business News, Paul McConnell, NBC News Radio.
Cool. All right. Yeah, perfect.
This
I was just curious.
is Dunc and Holder on New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
Here at TPC Louisiana, Missouri Classic of New Orleans, and our engineer Luke is scouting out our spot for tomorrow, the Acme tent. Superior. Tough life we've got here today, Jeff. Tough life.
Yeah. Lots of
stretching.
Manual labor here. It beats digging ditches, put it that way.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Of course, we're here, TPC Louisiana, out in Avondale. The man in charge of the Zurich Classic of New Orleans, and great. And I have not seen the picture. Just taking a picture with Billy Horschel, former champion here.
Correct. Yeah, great champion here. Always comes back.
He's a fiery guy. I know that. I remember seeing him, and wasn't he in contention one year at the Masters, really high up, something like that?
Yeah, he's a great player. Known for his fashion, has a really strong fashion sense out here, which would fit in well with Reginald Alfred Bush, who's I'm sure
he's looking dapper in this picture.
Looking dapper, I'm sure. Enjoying his post-playing career. What a career he had, too. 12 years, part of that famed Saints 2006 draft class, which, of course, Zach Strief just now retired as well. We don't know the last player left from that class still active is Jari Evans. And I don't think he's announced anything, has he?
No, he's not announced anything. I'm assuming he's still trying to play. Now, and here's the thing. If Zach wouldn't have gotten hurt, he would still be playing, I would assume, and we wouldn't even know how good the Saints had it with Ryan Ramczyk. We would be questioning that pick because he never played. Now we've seen him, and he's the tackle that I'm sure the Saints aren't going to want to let get away at any time soon.
Yeah, that's a great point. I didn't think about that, but that's how things happen in the NFL, right? Circumstances, fate. Fortunately for Zach, he went down in that opener against the Vikings, opened a door for Ryan Ramczyk, and, man, did he seize the opportunity. I mean, he was everything that we thought he might be and better as far as making an impact. I mean, the right tackle position and the tackle position in general in the NFL, it's almost like the long snapper, right? If you're not saying somebody's name, it's usually a good thing.
He's better than I thought he'd be. I don't think there's any question. Because, honestly, in that, say, first round, I didn't pay a ton of attention to the offensive line at that point because you figured they were in good shape. And he had to play every game, whether it was to fill in for Armstead or to fill in for Zach Strief. And that pick,
absolutely, because they had no depth along the offensive line elsewhere except for Senio Kelemete, and Senio's much better an interior player, even though he can fill in a pinch. And look, they've got to address that. Sean Payton said as much. It's kind of a sneaky need for this team is tackle interior depth along the offensive line.
I can officially say, totally veering off topic here, that Patrick Reed is not wearing his green jacket because he's on the 9th green right here. Right in front of us, the Masters champion, Patrick Reed, of course, played his high school golf up in Baton Rouge, and he's going to be one of the big names out here. Also, Jeff, again, I'm like going off on another tangent, not a tangent, but breaking news on the Pelicans-Warriors front. We've got the date and time of that game.
Yes, 9:30 Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Regardless of what happens in the other series, they've set the time. So it's a late night, but it makes for a great Saturday. You can watch some of the draft. You could go out to Jazz Fest, come out here for the third round of the Zurich. The cut will have been made on
walk-up music.
Whatever you've got on your agenda, you can get it out of the way and still be able to catch the Warriors-Pelicans. Game 1, and some of the numbers that I was going to trot out to you were kind of, I guess, sobering for the Pels.
Oh, then don't do it. We have no room here for negative truth. We can't have that, Jeff. None.
So, we know
too great of a day.
We know the Pels beat the game losing streak to the Warriors for the Pelicans. Now, here's some of the sobering numbers, some of the odds that the Warriors will be facing in this. The Pelicans in this series. It's the 6th straight season that the Warriors last 26 meetings, regular season and playoffs, against the Pelicans, including 12 of the last 13 at Oracle Arena. This stretch began during the 12-13 season. In the last 11 regular season meetings, the Warriors have scored at least 110 points against the Pelicans. All these numbers are coming with Steph Curry in the lineup, except for the last one. So that will change things dramatically if he's not in the lineup. But they have spin that glass half full.
I am driving the bus. I'm not even opening. I'm not even.
Says that you can't, once you get past the regular season, either hey, boom or bust, or we're either lighting this thing on fire and going off the bridge.
Wow, I don't want to drive it off the bridge in flames.
And to kind of, I guess, keep you a little bit under control. Each of the Warriors' 3 wins over the Pelicans during the 07 double-digit deficits of 15, 14, and 21 points to win. So if the will still be in it and certainly have the confidence that they can come back.
All right, let's take a break right here on the show. Again, we are at the 19th hole. Tomorrow we'll be at the Acme tent. Friday we'll be at the Champions Club tent. And great time for golf and Draft Wire, part of the USA Today Sports. And coming up next here, Sports 1280, NOLA.com, the iHeartRadio app, Dunc and Holder.
Your forecast on Sports 1280.
I'm meteorologist Alejandro Norwood in the Fox 8 Weather Center. We're going to have another great day ahead. Quite a bit of sunshine. By lunchtime, low 80s for your afternoon high.
Got like 2 typos in my
We are seeing the moisture ramp up a little bit. It should be clearing out by late in the afternoon. For Fox 8 Your Weather Authority and Bounce TV, I'm meteorologist Alejandro Norwood.
Around support their family.
Pop the collar,
in a
dude.
single moment, you can help them write a new.
Talking into.
If it's time to right rebate. For a limited time, purchase a Superstart Premium, Extreme, or Platinum battery and get up to a $15 O'Reilly gift card by mail. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better.
Auto Parts. Wow, it looks even better in person.
Oh, yeah. And I put nothing down on this bad boy.
And you can do it all from your phone.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude. Get pre-approved for your next new one in the Armed Forces, the DoD, veterans, and their families. Federally insured by NCUA.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico.
All right, we got Easterly.
Cool.
And a minute.
Get hair implants, but your DNA and physical form will remain the same. Geico waives any for eyes. The Geico legal team would be cool with that because, quote, laser eyes are pretty sweet. Pew, 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 end quote.
Geico. 50.
The time it takes you to call for help, the time it takes you to get medical treatment, and the time it takes you to call an attorney can all affect the value of your case. We have a team of professionals and experts. Interact, need a check? Call Mike Brander today. We're available 24/7, 345-1111.
More people have met their someone on Match than any other dating app. Everyone wants to find that meaningful connection. And Match is not only #1 and first, but second dates too. Now here's a free offer for you to search, view photos, and connect. This free offer is found at Match.com/party. That's Match.com/.
Learn what our insiders know about your home teams. Sports 1280 New Orleans. Live at the New Orleans at the TPC Louisiana. The 19th of course, PGA event starts tomorrow. Pro-Am is going on today. We just saw Patrick Reed come by. But, of course, busy time in New Orleans, PGA, playoff basketball, and the NFL draft. And pleased to be joined by Luke Easterling, the editor of the Draft Wire at USA Today. Luke, appreciate you jumping on the show, and I'm sure after rolling.
Well, it's always an interesting range of emotions between the Christmas-like feeling of actually having it get here and also the kind of, okay, let's get there. Let's actually get past all the smoke screens and the rumors and the craziness and, like, actually see how this goes down. So it definitely bounces between the two this time of year.
Luke, of course, Saints country here. They're picking at number 27. Sean Payton yesterday spoke with the media after his Zurich Classic round here. Defensive end. Tight end, offensive line, linebacker. So at this point, who do you think could fall to the Saints and would make the most sense at number 27 for you?
Well, I think that glaring as the others, none of them are really debilitating. I feel like there's not that one position that they probably feel like at 27 or in that range, if they were to move around a little, allows them the flexibility to really let the board come to them and let some of the talented players fall through the first round before New Orleans picks. That's going to drive all those position players at any number of those need positions that you mentioned down the board and into their hands. So I think whether it's a linebacker like Alabama's, whether it's a defensive back, if they want offensive line help, if they want a receiver, that's going to be a fun in that offense. So I think it's a good spot and a good draft the way it's stacked up for the Saints to really come away happy if they stay at that pick.
10 or 12 that might plummet out of there, that maybe one of these quarterbacks that a lot of people...
You know, I think it happens to one of the quarterbacks. There are some interesting names that I feel very, very confident in as players. He had a kind of a heart condition type of thing at the combine. That's been cleared since, but I wonder if, you know, if teams are just going to somebody else because we're just, you know, we're not sure, we're not comfortable. I don't know if that's going to happen, but if it does, Maurice Hurst is a top 15 player in this draft, and if he gets to a team like New Orleans, who, like I said, the board.
Luke Easterling, editor of the Draft Wire at USA Today Sports, joining us right here on Dunc and Holder. Luke, let's switch gears to some LSU guys, and the one guy we've been talking about for years, plural, last year for his good play as a sophomore, but this year the curious case of Arden Key. What do you make of his stock at this point, and where do you see him potentially falling this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, curious case is right. This is a guy who, go back to all of our preseason mock drafts, and you see him in the top 5 pretty much across the board. So, you know, it's going to be really interesting. This is one of the guys that the NFL teams doing behind-the-scenes research on, you know, his character and, you know, any off-field concerns they have. The fact that, you know, his, you know, weight fluctuated all over the place this season, dealt with some injuries. At his best weight and at his best, you know, level of health, I think he's one of the better players in this draft. But, you know, there's so many questions, so many ifs, that it's really going to come down to that background research. Some team's going to have to feel real comfortable with all that to spend a day 1, day 2 pick on him. I still think he comes off the board sometime on day 2 just because of that projection, that upside. He's got a lot of potential if a team can get him in the right situation.
And the other thing I wanted to ask you about, Luke, is the actual depth of this draft. It sounds like evaluators and scouts believe it's about, 15 to 20 players deep in the first round with really solid first-round grades, and then there's kind of a drop-off in the grade, and that the strength of this draft class is in the second and third round, that the player you get in the third round might be graded very similar to somebody at the top of the second round. Are you hearing the same things as far as how this draft shakes out?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I think there's probably a real quality top tier. It's hard. Quarterbacks are kind of their own category when it comes to this stuff. There's the rest of the class, and then the quarterbacks, I think, will always be a little bit overvalued because of their importance. But in terms of just position players, you know, I feel like there's maybe 5 or 6 guys at the top that I'm really excited about, and then really the difference between number 10 and number 50 or 60, it's really not that big of a jump. So I think, you know, teams are going to be more interested, especially teams without need that quarterback. They're going to really be interested in moving back from early in the first round to try to stockpile picks in that second, third, fourth round range, because I think you're going to get a lot of starting caliber players on both sides of the ball in that range.
Luke, quarterback, how many do you think go in the first round, and how high do you think, say, the 5th one goes? Because I would assume we're talking Mayfield and Rosen and Darnold and Josh Allen, and I'm going to throw Lamar Jackson in that group as well.
Yeah, I think we see 5 of the top 15 picks, and I think, you know, that sounds crazy and that sounds like a huge percentage, but this is just a really unique quarterback class, and, you know, there's something for everybody. It's a bunch of different types of players and personalities, and it's just one of the more unique drafts at that position, and because that position is so important, teams are going to have to keep over-drafting and hoping they find somebody. So I think that Arizona at 15 is the floor for a guy like Lamar Jackson, who's probably going to be the the last of those 5 off the board, even though he's the #1 quarterback on my board. He's the guy that will kind of end that run, and I think there's going to be a sizable drop-off between him and the next guy, who for most people is Mason Rudolph out of Oklahoma State. I think even he could sneak into the first round because you have a lot of teams at the bottom there, New England, Pittsburgh, who could use a rookie quarterback to kind of groom behind a veteran. So it's going to be a crazy draft. Haven't had 6 in the first round since the '83 class, but we could do it this weekend.
And also, I wanted to ask you about the potential for trades in the first round. Do you see a lot of movement because of this action with quarterbacks? Some of these teams maybe moving up to get the guy they want.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a crazy Thursday. I think we're going to see. Really, I think the floodgates start at number 5. I think the top 4 picks probably pretty solid right now, but at 5, I think is where you'll see the fun start. Denver at 5. If they don't want to take whatever the best quarterback is on the board, if they want to move down, you got teams like Buffalo. Obviously, you have a ton of picks to work with to try to move up. They've already made a little bit of a jump trading with Cincinnati to get up from the 20s to 12, and they've got plenty of picks to try to get up into the top 5, top 10. So you got teams like Tampa Bay, Indianapolis, Chicago. They already have their quarterback situation figured out. So if you're Miami, if you're Arizona, you're Baltimore, even Los Angeles, those teams, if they want to get up and get those quarterbacks, they're going to have plenty of teams willing to move back if they have a couple of those guys still on the board outside the top 5.
Luke Easterling, editor of the Draft Wire at USA Today Sports, joining us right here on Dunc and Holder. Luke, one more and we'll let you head on out of here. Let me throw another couple of LSU names and just your impressions of them going into this thing. Darius Geis, DJ Chark, and Dante Jackson.
Darius Geis, I've been at it on Twitter already this morning because I think he's just one of the best players in this class. Reminds me a lot of Marshawn Lynch as a running back. As a personality, I think he's a really fun guy that's going to be really entertaining for whatever team and fan base ends up with him. I think he's probably a more physical, the top 10 player overall on my board in that number 10 spot. And I think if we're talking about where people are projecting him now, kind of in the late first, instant impact. DJ Chark, I mean, that kind of size and speed and athleticism just at times at LSU, have been no secret, but, all the athletic ability to be way better of a pro than he was as a college player, depending on the court. You could use a receiver like that. Wouldn't even surprise me to see him sneak into the first round, just because teams love guys with, similar situation. He may not have the size, but that kind of speed, teams covet that in a big, big way, and you got a guy who's got experience at a premium position at corner in a premium conference in the SEC. I don't see him lasting very long either, especially if the team's looking for a starting nickel guy right away. I think he's tough. He can play in that slot area, and that speed's only going to help.
Luke Easterling, editor of the Draft Wire at USA Today Sports. Follow him on Twitter as well, at Luke Easterling, and look for him on Twitter defending Darius Geis. So I'm sure LSU fans will enjoy that. Hey, Luke, appreciate the insight. Great chatting with you, and gear up. Coming up, draft tomorrow night. Thanks, Luke.
Hey, anytime, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, that's Luke Easterling, editor of the Draft Wire at USA Today. And I'm interested in the fact that he's got Geis as a top 10 player. I feel like I don't know if say he's a top 10 player, but I think someone is going to be thrilled when they land him. I think he is as legit as it gets as far as being a running back in the NFL. I've never swayed from that since seeing him kind of emerge at LSU.
And I agree, and along those lines, I think DJ Chark's going to have a really good NFL career. I think he'd fit in well with the Saints. I'm not saying they would take him because I don't know if wide receiver is a big need.
I've been leery to say that.
And he would be a perfect fit alongside Mike Thomas. And I think whoever gets him, his best football is in front of him because he hasn't played with elite quarterbacks, let's face it, at LSU.
What?
I know that's shocking.
Are you kidding me?
But he could be a guy that all of a sudden,
Danny Etling is elite. I don't care what you say.
Like, can you even spell elite with Danny Etling?
I'm going to say you can't spell elite without, E.
E-L-I. I guess.
We're not very good at spelling, by the way.
No, that's why
we know you're not.
We won't be winning any spelling bees. at Dunc and Holder.
No, absolutely not. So, all right, let's take one final break here on the show as we are live at the TPC Louisiana Zurich Classic of New Orleans. Currently, the Pro-Am. It's going to be awesome. So we're here today at the 19th hole for a couple more minutes. Tomorrow we will be at the Acme tent. Friday we'll be at the Champions Club. So come on back. One more segment here on Sports 1280, NOLA.com, and the iHeartRadio app. Dunc and Holder.
Walk out the house with my swagger, hop in that window, I got places to go. People to see, time is precious, I look at my Cartier out of control.
Rookies sweat their combine performance in hopes of being a first-round draft pick. You'll sweat after a hearty meal.
By the way,
if
Jeff, if you
you're our choice in the Sports 1280 free lunch draft. Declare yourself eligible as
that what you're laughing at?
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, he just thought it was like, yeah, Luke, so,
seafood with Dunc and Holder.
Excuse me.
If you own a gun for protection, you need legal for
many reasons I like coming out here.
Yeah, it's also in Louisiana. If you must defend yourself, you have the nation's largest network of independent program attorneys passionate about your self-defense rights, ready to defend you. And you'll pay zero attorney's fees for covered events. USLawShield.com has no caps or tiers. Everyone gets the best coverage in the nation for $10.95 a month. Go to USLawShield.com and hit radio offers.
Yeah, I got that other pick out there, too. I don't know what's going on.
That's US Law Shield.
I think I took when I made that trade last time.
It's tax season. AutoZone has everything your car needs. Did you know that with the loan tool program at AutoZone, you can borrow a specialty tool with no purchase necessary?
You can't
choose from over 100 tools.
Yeah, but you can't find it in the
no matter how big or small. And right now,
we can't find it at T. It doesn't exist.
Refrigerant.
That's what I'm saying. The way you can find it is by going to the link.
Locations nationwide.
Or go to the exhibitor and find it, but you can't find it like in the river.
Store.
Nice system.
The 8th annual Lemonade Day is set to take place Saturday, May 5th. Lemonade Day
I forgot that the air message, it doesn't really mean it's an air.
Kids how to start, own, and operate their very own business. Stand. Registration and
we ask questions for
what you do is you ask,
all
you
youngsters are
questions.
encouraged to participate.
I was working on it at like 6 a.m., 5:45 a.m. 5:45 a.m.
Give away more music.
Yeah.
Streaming service is upgrading.
I like standing up. I don't like to sit down.
Mobile app.
Okay,
It will
John.
give users more access to songs.
Now, 1 minute.
Full access to Spotify's entire catalog on demand without ads. Spotify's now a public company and needs to hit its growth numbers, so it's betting the more people get access, the more likely they'll end up paying for it in the long run. Whole Foods is expanding its grocery delivery service. Previously, only
Should we walk over and catch Peyton as soon as it
Prime
gets off?
members get free 2-hour deliveries for purchases over $35.
He's going to be on at noon when he hears walk-up music.
1-hour delivery for
he's
an
gonna do the
upcharge
Sean
of
Payton.
$7.99.
He's doing the Sean
Javelin
Payton.
Strategy and Research says that last year, more than 1 million children in the country were victims of identity theft, resulting in $2.6 billion in losses. The report says children's identities are worth more on the black market.
Did you see this
Tech Report, Larry
Slack
Olson,
thing
NBC News
about-
Radio.
There's a girl in El Salvador who
Who
dreams
to
of
email
becoming
to
an
find out
engineer.
who
There's
Leslie
an elder in Uganda
Morris
who dreams of
left
having
the
a community
Sensations.
to
Did
call
you
his
see this
own.
message on
No
Slack
two
that
dreams
Chris
are the same.
attached us
Help
to?
one
No, what
person
is it?
achieve theirs.
Who
at
could they email to find out
unbound.org.
when Leslie
the
Fitzmaurice left the Sensations? Who's directing now? I don't know.
The woman.
Yeah.
Dunc and Holder now.
Yeah.
We're back.
Next at noon on Sports 1280, New Orleans.
Missed any of the show? Had a great show. Go to sports1280.com, NOLA.com's YouTube page, and of course Clyde will have our daily post on NOLA.com. And if you drop down, click on Sports 1280's free lunch draft, and you can register to win lunch with the Dunc and Holder crew at Deanie's in Bucktown. We're going to be picking the winner on Monday, and we pick you. You get to come eat lunch with us. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll most likely cry, and you'll probably never want to talk to us again. I'm just going to assume that.
Fair stuff.
I need the bite sound.
No, I don't want that anymore. That,
like that bite
that
sound.
scares the hell out of me.
Because that's what's going to be happening. Plenty of bite sounds.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen.
That's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. So, but of course, go check it out. sportsweb.com. Go to contests, enter, and we may pick you. We most likely won't pick you because we're only picking one winner. So there's only somewhere between 2 and 11 billion. Somewhere between there.
That's safe to say.
That is a safe assumption. So I'm basically saying
made on Clyde finding the media tent.
Yeah, because you were just about as wrong about that as you were about most things.
Here we go. Oh, boy. I could tell people are hungry as we're sitting here.
I got a banana. I got a banana. So I'm mostly good. I just need to get some coffee by the time I get back to the office.
Krabby Flakes.
For show.
Oh, my goodness. So, once again, we will be here all week at TPC Louisiana for the Zurich Classic. Jeff is standing up. He's ready to go. We'll see Sean Payton tee off again. Sean Payton just keeps playing golf. Reggie Bush is still on the course. If he's finished, I haven't seen him. I don't know
what kind of golfer Reggie is.
That's what I want to see. I want to see if he could actually swing the sticks.
I bet he can.
Like Mark Ingram is a good golfer. Like, I'm curious to see if Reggie's the same.
Yeah, well, a lot of NFL players are very good golfers. You know who's a really good golfer is Steph Curry.
Yes, he is a very good golfer. He's a very, very good golfer.
He might have more time to play golf right now because he's still trying to recover.
I don't know. I mean, seeing as how the entire game of golf is about, twisting joints and shifting things, I think the biggest thing he should do right now is get that knee as healthy as possible going into the offseason, or really into the series with the Pelicans. Did anybody stay up and watch the game last night besides me because I'm a crazy person?
Which one?
No.
Which game?
Warriors Spurs.
No, I did not.
I did, and I'm telling you right now, just looking at the game and just specifically thinking about how, we were talking to Juan earlier, and he was talking about the matchup, and I really do think what's been strange about watching the Warriors without Steph Curry has been watching how they hitch their wagon to specifically either Kevin Durant or Klay Thompson. Last night, credit to the Spurs. They did not give up. They did not quit. They were down double digits for much of the second half, right up until the fourth quarter, before they make a run. LaMarcus Aldridge, if he's going to be the cornerstone for what the Spurs can do, I'm not surprised that they will still have a future regardless of what Kawhi Leonard does, because he absolutely dominated the game. He dominated the paint. There was no answer for him, whether you threw Draymond Green at him, whether you threw JaVale McGee. He was getting his points, and he was helping the team at least stay relevant. But for what I think the Pelicans can do, whoever they're going to throw at Anthony Davis, whether it's McGee or whether it's Draymond, both of them are going to have problems. Whoever they decide to throw at Mirotic, same thing. And I think Drew Holiday is going to have an absolute field day with being able to try to lock up either Klay Thompson or whoever else they throw at him. The only person that can come off that bench for Golden State is Swaggy P, who can come off and just go hot for
Swaggy P.
Swaggy P, man.
Who is that?
Nick Young.
Swaggy P.
That's his nickname, man. Swaggy.
I know.
I did not know that.
I know him as Nick Young.
Yeah, well, Nick Young, also known as Swaggy P, because he can come off the bench and he can get a lot of points, and he's a volume shooter. I know Jeff loves that term.
Shooter.
He's a volume shooter.
Oh, you mean he's a gun?
Yeah, and that's exactly what he's supposed to do in Steve Kerr's offense. But really, this team is.
I want that role. What can't it well be? Just make me the gun.
Well, I think you already are the gun. You get to write columns whenever you want.
Yeah, the gun.
You don't necessarily have to cover it.
But I hit a lot more of my columns than he does.
You don't have any ACL, so you can't be.
Yeah, so you can't. Yeah,
you can't move from side to side, right? You're just a straight line runner.
Like Roger Kingdom.
Just like him. Just like
Roger
Roger
gold medal
Kingdom.
without an ACL.
But yeah, Kevin Durant.
You're the same thing, same guy.
And playing defense on them is going to be a big key. But I think the Pelicans can steal one of these first two games. If not game one, I think they can steal at least game two.
Look, I'm with you. I think they could certainly go in and steal one of the games. I mean, we've seen them in a tight spot against the same team do it a couple weeks ago. So why wouldn't they be in the same mode? Now, I don't know if they're going to be, say, Warriors and turn on that playoff switch or, that whatever. But I do think that they're totally capable of going in there and taking a game. Do I think they're going to win the series? I don't know if I want to go that far.
That's fair.
I think we all walked into the first series with Portland confident that the Pelicans could win that series.
If he's on the court, I think everything changes.
Well, it sounds like, and Jeff, I think you said or read an update earlier today. What was Steve Kerr saying about Steph Curry's availability?
Well, he just said that he'll be surprised if he's available anytime soon. Now, well, what does that mean? That's pretty vague. But I would think game one he's not going to be available. I'll be surprised.
Yeah, I would be too. I mean, it doesn't seem like, even though I think he jumped on the practice court, I don't know, last week at some point, or earlier this week. I think that was just to get him out there.
He was. I mean, from what they reported last night during the game, from what they reported out in Oakland, he's doing some kind of pre-season or pre-game workouts. He's doing pre-practice workouts. Whenever they're doing non-contact drills during practice, he's apparently running those. But he's not anywhere near doing actual, real in-game type work. So whether you hear from Steve Kerr that he's close or he's not anywhere close, or then you have reports saying that he may miss game one and game two, if he's missed over 30 games. He's missed like 35, 36 games so far since the end of the year. And whatever Steph Curry you're going to get back, regardless of what the team is saying, whether they see in practice that he's just the same Steph Curry that he's always been, there's going to be some rust there. There's going to be an acclimation period that he's going to have to get into. And regardless of whether or not, let's say he comes off the bench. Let's say he doesn't even start. So he's going to come off the bench. They're going to try to use him whenever you've got any smattering of Ian Clark, Darius Miller, Check Diallo, whoever on the court at that point in time. So you're looking at trying to figure out how are you going to throw a defense at him to try and slow him down, to try to really get him in the bad shooting spots that he doesn't want to be.
Look, I think if he's ready to play, he's going to start. I don't think there's going to be any of this coming off the bench stuff. I think once he's ready, they're going to.
Yeah, they'll get him ready to be what he is.
Right.
They won't put him out there, I don't think, until he's ready to be Steph Curry.
Right. I would agree.
think Steve Kerr.
San Antonio has been to the playoffs 21 straight years. 21 years. It's the longest streak among all NBA teams right now. If that's not the kind of...
It's longer than the Pelicans streak of one?
By about 20. The
Snarknado strikes.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to say yes, Snarknado week. No, I was going to say if there's any... You know, we talk a lot about, the process that Dell Demps and Monty Williams before that wanted to bring to the Pelicans. And if the Pelicans... It's just fascinating to me that the Spurs have gone through so many different iterations since Greg Popovich has been there. Regardless of where you go back to David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Manu, Tony Parker, all of this. That 21 years straight, they've been a staple in the playoffs regardless. And last night was the 5th time that they've only been knocked out in the first round. If that's not longevity, if that's not consistency among an organization to try to look to, I don't know what is.
Well, I would agree. I mean, there's a reason why they've won 5 titles.
Yep.
During that span. I mean, they're certainly one of the blue bloods. But what's going to happen to that team going forward? I don't think we know. I mean, what's going to happen with Kawhi Leonard? What's going to happen? Honestly, you don't want to say this, but is Greg Popovich going to come back and coach?
Yeah.
I mean, I assume yes, but of course he's going through some traumatic, life-altering issues with the death of his wife, and you never know. But there's certainly times of changing. Seems like, at least over in San Antonio.
Big off season for them, but they remain the model small market franchise in the NBA. Everyone else looks to them for how you can make it work in a market that's not one of the major league markets like New York or LA.
Yeah, if you're the Pelicans, you strive to have Anthony Davis become Tim Duncan.
Yes,
that's what you strive to do. We'll see what happens. But no, great show today. Of course, we're live at the TPC Louisiana. We'll be live here tomorrow and Friday. Round 1 and round 2 of the PGA event here, Zurich Classic of New Orleans, will be tomorrow. We will be at the Acme tent tomorrow. On Friday, we'll be at the Champions Club. Great venue. If you want to get out here, get your butt out here. I mean, call in sick and just don't get caught on camera or something. I don't know.
Meet us at the Acme tent tomorrow. We'll eat some Dragos or what? Not Dragos.
Obviously not Dragos.
Not Dragos.
Some grilled oysters.
We'll get some.
They are doing grilled.
There we go. All right, Eric Asher coming up next here. We'll be back tomorrow. Sports 1280, NOLA.com, the iHeart Radio app. Duncan Holder.
We're here in this new neighborhood.